Hey everybody, this is Jynnette The Oracle. Welcome to 2025. I'm back from my winter break. In case you haven't noticed, I have been posting on the community page as well as on social media, as well as sending out newsletters. So you should notice I've been back, but this is my first video for the year, and I'm happy to be here. Happy, healthy, and whole. And I hope that you all, for the most part, are doing well as well. A few announcements since I haven't been here for a while. But again, if you've been following me on other social channels, you already know some of these announcements. The most important being of the announcements is the fact that I am transitioning off of being active on Instagram and instead going to be on Blue Sky. So I have an account there already. You can find me with the same handle, Anderson Alchemy, all one word. So search for me there. You'll find me. I've already been active there, but that is going to be my Instagram replacement. I will be keeping my Instagram page up though because I want to be able to retain my name and not have somebody take it. It is trademarked. My business is trademarked, so I'm gonna keep it, but I'm not going to be active on it. So you will see over the next probably like week or so, depending on whenever you see this video, I'm gonna be deleting or removing a lot of the posts on IG and just keep up maybe like a single post or maybe two or three, just a couple of things just to like have something on the page. But for the most part, it's going to be just a standing page that will be essentially a marketing tool. So if people want to get in touch, the link in bio will still have, the website, newsletter, donation options, as well as the link to find me on Blue Sky. So that will be, I'll officially stop being active starting February 1st, assuming I can get the things done that I need to get done. But yeah, I will be posting or like being the stories after the end of January as a heads up, and I will be active on Blue Sky. So that is going to be my replacement. I definitely have very much been loving it. I prefer the energy, it's much clearer, cleaner in general. So if you are over there, come find me and follow. So not only is it going to be, spirituality and business stuff, which is, what I do here for Innocent Alchemy, but I'm also going to be leaning more into the creative entertainment stuff because, as a lot of you know, I'm also been in the entertainment industry for many years. So I will be sharing some things that might be more so for folks in the industry, as well as, things that I am watching and paying attention to, in terms of like movies and streaming, good writing, stuff like that. I'll definitely be putting up my Oscar predictions there as well, like and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a mix of those three topics: spirituality, entertainment, and business on that page. So I'll be a little bit more of my personal interest in addition to the coaching stuff on that. Excuse me. Obviously the newsletter will continue. Won't have more than 1 to 2 newsletters per month in general, unless something really important comes out. However, I will be writing a lot more. So yeah, there will be more blogs. So even in the newsletter, like I'm gonna try to do as best as I can to like keep tabs on listing the recent blogs in the newsletter so that you have that and you can check. But I'm not planning on sending a newsletter like every single time a blog drops. So stay as connected as possible to the website or just, again, on socials. I'll be sharing that there so you can read up on that. I already have a few blogs up already. You might have already seen some of them since I've been back, but just in case you don't, I have the link to just the blog page in the description below. So from there you can find the new one. So I have one with the year ahead, the 2025 astrology forecast, my perspective on the astrology for the year, what that really is going to be looking like for us. It's a broad overview, so I'm not getting into the weeds too much with the planets. I do a little bit, but it's really about bigger things that are going on. So you can check that out. I also have a blog post up for the North Node in Pisces transit, because that's happening and affecting us all this year, as well as the first half of next year. So we won't have the shift out of Pisces and into Aquarius until July of 2026. So definitely check that out. I have one on my recent experience in my sit with uh, Mama Cacao, ceremonial cacao, on Christmas Day. So you can read up on that if you want to, to see what my experience was and what I was going. That one's more of a personal share. And then I have one on monitoring spirits, so spirits that are like spying, that kind of energy. I have a blog up on that. So yeah, lots of new things that have just recently dropped. So check that out. Again, the blog page is linked below. I did that instead of just trying to put all the links. You can go there to the link and pick and choose the ones you want to check out there. But they are there. I also updated my sessions page on the website. I put the link again below, so you can go directly to it. I have limited availability for being able to do live sessions, but you can see the options that are there. So there are the options of doing a personal astrology reading for half an hour. I also have a session there specifically for entrepreneurs. Just a general coaching hour for any returning client, as well as a discovery call for those who are looking to set up a coaching package with me. So information on the packages are all on that page as well too, with the prices, what you get, etc. So all that info is there, so check that out. That is new and updated for the year for the time being. Again, with limited availability, so get in where you fit in. If those times don't work for you, that limited availability doesn't work for you, simply shoot me a message on the contact page and let me know what session you're interested in. And what I can do is do a recording for you instead. Yeah, because that time that I have available is like truly the little time that I have available for right now. So beyond that, I would have to like squeeze in time to record rather than be able to sit and do that live. But that is an option if that's something that you want. Okay, so but just reach out and let me know, and we'll get that handled. Let's see, anything else? I think that was it. Well, given how things are in my life right now, I most likely won't be doing, not even most likely, I won't be doing weekly Oracle talks. Like, let me be blunt. I am going to try to attempt to do at least one or two short videos a month pre-recorded and upload those. And that's going to be best case scenario. Okay. But yeah, most of where I feel my energy is going to go towards in terms of the free content, because this is all free content stuff, is going to be on the writing, because there's a lot more that is coming through in that way. So yeah, that's the vibe. So videos aren't going away, but they will be infrequent. So I don't want you to, sit there and expect that something was going to show up. But I'm at least going to try to do one recorded video a month, two, again, if I have the time, but at least try to get one in per month, because the focus is going to be on the writing, on blogging. So a lot of stuff will more quickly come out on Blue Sky, because it's going to be more immediate downloads and intel. And then once I've been able to sit with for a while, I'll be able to collate and put everything together and put it up in a blog. So just, be connected in that way, or, expect that. yeah, I think that is it. So yeah, find me on Blue Sky starting now, but definitely February 1st because I'm not going to be active on IG. Um, Check out the new session options for readings, especially astrology, because I know that's a interest for folks, and I haven't been making astrology readings available over the past year, so those are now back. And there'll be less videos, but significantly more writing. So I would suggest signing up for the newsletter, and I would also ask for that. But yeah, check out the blogs and find me on Blue Sky. On a personal note, I will say, as I'm sure you've already picked up from other spiritual entrepreneurs, these last 2 years in particular have been quite rough economically. Um, you know, obviously, I still show up and do the work, but what happens in the greater economy and what is happening there definitely impacts our industry, spiritual industry, so to speak. So it's definitely been rough, and I am still in the process of finding work that will support me at a living wage to, take care of myself. I do have something like part time right now, but it is not doing what it needs to do. So I do greatly appreciate any and all session bookings, people signing up for programs, coaching packages, etc. That really does help me. As well as helps you, obviously. But if that's not something that you are interested in terms of like working with me directly, I do also appreciate and accept and receive any types of donations or support for just this work in general through donations. And I have my PayPal info there. If you prefer to use Cash App or Venmo, again, shoot me a message on the contact page of my website asking for that info, and I can send you that directly. The only reason I don't put that here, I have it in my newsletter because it's slightly more private, but I just don't put it publicly because the handles do have my first and last name. So just in the interest of some modicum of of privacy, I at least have that behind the newsletter. Filter, if you will. So if you're on my newsletter, like I have info there, you can see it there. But otherwise, if you want that and you don't want to be signed up on the newsletter, understandably, then you can reach out to me in that way. So I thank you for that in advance, preferably for your patronage, because I prefer people do work and engage in work and engage in their spiritual development and things like that. But again, if that's not a focus, but you still want to support my work through donation, I accept that as well too. Okay. Closed mouths don't get fed, so we ask. All right. So the messages for today. Obviously, I've been really sitting with what's been going on here in this country, the U.S., and that is the bulk of the folks who are in the greater community of Innocent Alchemy. So, that's more so what I'm going to be speaking to or touching on, but it's not exclusive to this area because with this rise of fascism here in this country, it's not unique here, and it is something that is like the far right ideology and the authoritarianism is definitely popping up in a lot of other places as well too around the globe. Not everywhere, but in some key places it is. It's seeing a resurgence in places that are quite troubling and that concern me. So, obviously there's a lot of trepidation, there's a lot of concern. I will be continuing to write more about things specifically here in the U.S. around that later on, so be on the lookout for that. But one of the things that I was sitting with Spirit with about in terms of what guidance can be provided right now, because, a lot of us are kind of going through it in some way, shape, or form, or like trying to figure out or like bracing for what's coming down and what's currently happening and thinking about and trying to plan for what the future may hold, etc. So sitting with that, and obviously, there's a lot of emotions and feelings and anxiety and stress and all of that. But one of the things that really was starting to bubble up in my mind was the fact that, yes, we've been here before. Yes, we have come out on the other side. But we also are not bound to do the same things or engage in the same tactics as exactly the same tactics as we did before. There might be some similarities, and obviously, whatever did work previously, we want to continue doing because it worked, right? But we are in a space of more abundance, and I'm using abundance in terms of having more options compared to our predecessors or ancestors. We are a little bit more resourced. We do actually have a little bit more power in all the various ways that power can be construed. There are more options. There's more opportunity for creative tactics, creative paths, creative options, creative strategies to come through to deal with some very real and serious and mature issues. Whether that is, in a situation like me, becoming more financially solvent and empowered, to physical safety or the lack thereof, just all the things. We do have more options now, and I think that's when I want to, I know that's actually what I want to speak to and get guidance around now, is holding that space open a little bit more for a third possibility or something else that is new that's considered in addition to what we already have. Because the factor remains that we are still in a lot of ways back where we were. We got brought back to a really tough place. So, ultimately victory will be assured. We want that victory to happen sooner rather than later, right? But to do so in such a way where the victory is more decisive and the probability of dealing with this kind of thing again is reduced significantly because of the new approach that we have, because we choose to show up differently and do something different with our strategies and our tactics to push through and win out over these external circumstances. So yeah, that's where I am. That's where I'm sitting at in terms of these messages. Hopefully that resonates with you. Please do share in the comments below. But I have invited in some of the archangels for their support in letting these messages come through, specifically Michael and Solar Uriel. So I give thanks for their presence. Also want to give thanks and honor to the power and the presence of our elevated beneficial ancestors, those who came before and who dealt with similar things in much harsher environments with much less abundance, i.e. much less options available to them. And specifically sitting with that intention and that energy of being able to go farther rather than just revert back to what was and what has been. Literally, first card out, 8 of Cups. being able to move on because what has been available is not doing what we needed to do, right? Next out is Three of Wands. This is the embracing of power, the use of our power, in particular spiritual power. That popped out. Six of Cups. Yeah, this is the use of our spiritual power for sure. Princess of Pentacles. This is explicitly protection for us. Knight of Cups. Being able to evolve to the next stage. Ascend to the next stage. That's also Pisces energy. One last card. No, one card, please. This is for the heart of the matter. Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Cups on the bottom. So, yeah, the heart of the matter being the Seven of Pentacles is we've gone as far as we can go with what we've done. If you've been with me for a while, you know that this is both a harvest and an assessor or assessment card. So harvesting is enjoying the fruits of labor, really seeing what has actually been successful, as I mentioned before, and that assessment piece of, okay, certain things worked, given certain environments, etc. Now, in what way do things have to shift and change in order to have a greater yield, a greater outcome than what has been made, because that particular yield has given these particular results. I was very clear about what I thought of the results of the results at the end of last year, if you were watching those Oracle talks. And to me, this is a fail. But the assessment of that. But this is explicitly coming across as like spiritual power. This protection, since it's Pentacles, is like speaking to me more about both spiritual as well as physical protection. There's not necessarily a lot of growth and wiggle room and like material abundance. It's more so a matter, because it's a princess and not a queen. So it's more like what you have and like a little bit of room to grow, but it's not going to be too much based off of how much protection is having to be in place. But there's not a loss of ground for what is had, and there is still space for the cultivation of new. It's just the cultivation of new is really tender and susceptible to harm, so it must be protected so it can continue to be cultivated. But this Three of Wands, Six of Cups is very much soul power, and what that Six of Cups is speaking to me about is really reclaiming our soul sovereignty, but like really strengthening and keeping our energy to ourselves, not having it be available to distraction, to these other forces, to something beyond what we actually need to be focused on. Because this path of evolution and really like springboarding into a greater victory than what has been in the past is definitely there on hand. But this is the missing piece. And I'm hearing it's coming down to leadership within self. So let me go a little bit deeper with a different spread for action to focus on at this time, or at least until the next time I come to Oracle Talks. But I think in general, because this isn't a short-term thing, this is definitely long-term. Oh, King of Swords, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups, King of Wands, and we got King of Pentacles. We have three kings. It's a lot of power, authority, and sovereignty showing up here. Okay, so I'm gonna dive into these individual cards first before I expand this. So we have the King of Swords. This is actually what is arising, what we're facing. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to expand this because this is coming across as more negative. This is feeling like what is actually being fought against. And the Eight of Swords is the action to take. So first and foremost, Eight of Swords talking about how we can create a prison of our own mind and be stuck in a place of inaction. That can't happen right now. You need to move into action. However, that action needs to be informed by the King of Wands, by what you're striving for, but also be very strategic and effective so you're not wasting energy. Because you want to take action that addresses this stuff directly rather than being, thrown all over the place. So let's expand this a little bit more. Yep. Okay. We are showing up as the Knight of Swords. So there's definitely a readiness to be involved, to take action, to move in a certain way, whatever that's going to look like for you in order to make positive change. So I'm happy to see that. And the environment is 10 of Cups. That can be read in two ways. So one is going to talk about the spiritual support that's there. Okay, our spiritual community that is beneficial, that is there to support us. But this also can talk about illusion, delusion, culture, that's like this muck that you're trying to make your way through. Because these two energies aren't really compatible, the air and the water. And these are also both Mars energy. The strength that we have is showing up here as the Hierophant. This is where we're already strong. This is coming to me as like the commitments that we have, what we are committed to, where our faith lies, where we are unmoved from. And remember, I was talking in the early part of last year about hope and faith. Okay, so we're already strong here, which is another reason why we can't allow the Eight of Swords to um, energy to like move us in a place of diversion, as if what we already know to be true for us and what is important for us to work towards has changed. Like it hasn't changed at all. This is long-term commitment with the higher priest. In the very recent past, we have the Three of Wands. So this is like within the last 2 weeks, there's a greater sense of personal power that has really come online, or a sense of like sureness and groundedness, which again is reinforcing this energy of like, okay, wanting to get clear, to understand and know the path to take and the action to take, because you want to have a particular outcome. Also, past energies, the Queen of Cups, so that is emotional maturity, paying attention to the intuition. So you may find that has been much more heightened. And then, of course, we have the Moon here in the deeper past. Obviously, we just had the North Node just shift into Pisces, because this is also the Pisces card. But the Moon can talk about, again, this, speaking to this Ten of Cups, this illusion, delusion, things being hidden, the nefarious, malevolent stuff that's in the background that you're not aware of, that's like kind of like actually playing a part, not really being seen, but that has come to light. This has not been a pleasant experience to have this stuff be exposed. And for here in the US, that was an exposure of seeing like more than half of the population choose to bring this this person into the presidency, right? And really having to sit with the fact that that was chosen actively. Okay. Here in the center is the Nine of Wands. This is a card of perseverance. This is where you have to dig deep and stay in it. The battle is not over. It is not the Ten of Wands. This is where you bandage up yourself and you like dig in and you're like, okay, the final, quote unquote, final push. This is that point in the movie where, everything seems to be lost for the hero, for the protagonist, or for the team. And there's like supernatural strength that they have to tap into to keep going. That's what this message is about. You're tapping into that supernatural, which is this energy. King of Wands, Queen of Cups, High Priest. So, action to take, because that's what the whole point of this is Eight of Swords. And what's coming through, just to make this short and sweet, is get to and address the root of the issue. Those are the actions. All of this, you see all these like bands of diversion and distraction. This is not the issue. This is. Okay? So attack the root. The rest comes down. Attack the root of the obstacle. And I'm speaking across things. So these may be spiritual issues you're coming up against, mental issues you're coming up against, emotional issues you're coming up against, physical body issues, stuff with your money, stuff with relationships, stuff in your personal life in general, stuff at work, stuff with family members in relationship, obviously stuff with the government. Yeah. Don't get distracted by the stuff. Now, to be clear, as I mentioned already, the Eight of Swords is about the prisons that we create for ourselves. Nine of Swords is about the other, whatever other is, actually being the source of that thing. So this area, and this is compounded because we have the Knight of Swords of how we're showing up, because that can be tricky to navigate, is where we are creating the diversions from taking the action that we need to take. What's an example of this, Jynnette? Glad you asked. This could be like, because I had a couple conversations already about this today specifically. This could be like having a repeated experience with somebody who is incredibly harmful in their behavior and have been that way. They are known for being that way, and you keep turning the other cheek and not bringing consequences to that action. That's this energy. Is like all these excuses of trying to understand why they're showing up the way they are showing up, trying to negotiate even though you've already like had conversations or done whatever 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times. All of that is that Eight of Swords, the negative side of the Eight of Swords energy. That has to stop, because the King of Swords energy is not, this is dangerous energy. This is on the negative side, because that's the vibe I'm getting from this from this card right now for this reading. The King of Swords, for me, is the most dangerous king because it feels the closest to the energy of the Devil card. It's not that the other kings can't show up, messy, but this one shows up, if it's going to be in the negative, this one is the one that gives me pause. And it's like, this is the energy you don't want to play with. This is manipulative, mentally and emotionally. This is narcissistic energy. This is someone who is used to being in an environment. You see these little imps here? Used to being in an environment that supports their behavior, that supports them showing up in a harmful way. This energy is not used to being challenged, is not used to being called out. This is not energy that you call in, because this energy is not in community. This energy means you harm. And I'm not mincing my words on this. This energy means you harm. And also is harming others. Okay? And is good at creating the smoke and mirrors thing. So please don't participate in the smoke and mirrors by creating your own smoke and mirrors and how you navigate dealing with this energy, just because they've done such a good job of manipulating you. Also, because the High Priest is out here, don't let this get in the way, this Eight of Swords of energy get in the way from you dealing with this, just because you've been so conditioned by Christianity to not confront your abuser, your oppressor, to turn the other cheek, to be loving, to be forgiving, to be long-suffering. No. Okay, that's not this energy. That's not appropriate for this, okay? This is someone, when we have court cards, they tell you and they give you a sense of the development or the maturity in a particular energy that is there. So it goes from the Princess or the Page as the beginning, which is essentially the apprentice, right? So you're just starting the journey. Then you get to the Knight, which is more of the adept. There's a little bit more mastery. You're not the master yet, but there's a little bit more mastery. And that's where we're sitting at. We're learning our lesson around this, okay? Developing more maturity here. The Queen and the King are levels of mastery because of, patriarchy. The King is the solidification or the ultimate, because it's the 4 energy. The Queen is still a 3, so it's still in the evolving and the becoming. But once we get to the king, to the 4, it has codified, it has been fully embodied, it has fully manifested. So the king is the result of the work of the queen, right? So like the queen is the beginning of the mastery, and then the king is the embodiment, the full embodiment and the manifestation of the mastery. So when king energy shows up, this is fully embodied. This energy knows what it's doing. This energy in particular, again, from what I pick up from this message right now, this is dangerous. Okay. Lastly, in the spirit, this is the energy that is over us, that is protecting the King of Pentacles, which is a beautiful energy. Okay. Now, this is actually a bigger energy than what showed up previously because we had the Page of Pentacles before. So, specifically, when it comes to when we take these actions, this energy is backing us up. So the matured, the fuller protective force is there, both in the spirit as well as the physical, because this is Pentacles. So that reinforces that message about, physically you will be kept whole, you won't lose ground, but also as you come up and deal with this, on your side of things, you will be empowered to do so, or you're being invited to step up into that, and you have a matching, equally powerful energy to make sure that this energy gets dealt with and you don't lose ground. Okay? Because this is feeling more messy to me than not. And this energy is hiding in all of this smoke and mirror stuff, distraction, all the emotion. Okay? So, this is very much an important, relatively timeless message. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet. I'll sit with this before I create the title, but yeah, this is important. It's going to be an important walk for us, and we have to persevere. We have to persevere. And we're on our path, since we already have the Queen of Cups show up in the past for us, and we're at the Knight of Swords, so there's an evolving energy with this. So we're about to solidify into whatever the King energy next is for that, so the King of Cups, potentially. And in that past spread, we had the Six of Cups and the Three of Wands come up. So it's that solidification of the power is there. So please lean into this so that you can sit in that embodied space, and then you can be head to head with this and stop, giving up your seat of power. Stop relinquishing territory. And in fact, start reclaiming territory. All right. I hope that was a blessing. Please do share this message. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I would love to hit 1,000, because if I hit 1,000, I believe I actually will be able to either create a membership or monetize. I have to see what it is, but it will be another avenue for income to come in. So I appreciate your efforts in doing so. I think right now I'm about at 982. So I would like to get comfortably over 1,000, like maybe 1,100, so that, with the influx of people coming in and out, I can maintain that. That would be great. It's not a goal that I have for the year, but it's coming up now, so I'm going to say it to have that ask in case people follow me, but they're not subscribed. So please do subscribe to the channel. Please do like the video, because it does help to circulate it in the ecosystem here. Please also comment if you want to share anything that's relevant. And of course, please share the video to the various social platforms that you are on, anyone that you feel would benefit from the message. with that being said, I love you all. I don't know when I'll be back next. It might be a full month out from now. It might be sooner. We will see. But, oh, actually, you know what? I think I might actually take a picture of this so that y'all can see it. I'll see. I'll just check in with Spirit about that because I don't know if I will or not. But anyway, yeah, but check out the most recent blog, sign up for my newsletter, stay connected there, book a session if you're able, and please do donate to support the work. I would appreciate that. And with that, God willing, I'll see you next time. Bye.